Good morning. My name is Charles Self. I'm the instructor for Encore Learning 3079, A History of Journalism in the United States. The first newspaper in America was published in 1690. It was called Public Occurrences, both foreign and domestic. It was immediately suppressed because the colonial government had not granted permission for its publication. That action reflected community values grounded in the British Empire. Just 31 years later, in 1721, James Franklin, the older brother of Benjamin Franklin, ignored that requirement for authority and published the New England Courant. It was a bold, lively literary publication that set a new standard for American newspapers and embodied a critical attitude toward British colonial values. By the 1740s, American newspapers were printing the Cato Letters, which advocated free speech and civil liberties, and by the 1760s they were printing the demands of Samuel Adams and the Sons of Liberty for individual liberty and a new set of community values in a new nation. Following the passage of the Stamp Act in 1765 and the Tea Act in 1773, colonial newspapers split into Tory newspapers and revolutionary newspapers. They reflected a deep crisis that raged across the colonial press about whether there should be an American Revolution to create a new nation. That crisis would lead to the Declaration of Independence in 1776 and to a new idea of community values and individual liberty and what that might mean for an independent United States of America. This 100-year pattern of community stability followed by critical questioning, then individual advocacy, and finally crisis about community values versus individual liberty would repeat itself in U.S. journalism 4 times over the next 330 years. This class will examine that cycle as it resurfaced each of those 4 times during the 18th century, the early 19th century, the late 19th century, and the 20th century. Our goal will be to discover what this recurring pattern might mean about journalism in our own time and about the future of our society. It should be a fascinating journey. I hope you'll join me.